What's up, Collective fam? It's your boy Tony the Toy Rat, and I'm here with Jeanty. And yeah, all of you have been screwing up his name. Okay? I happen to have practiced that several times, and I've interviewed him at least once before, so I know it's Jeanty. Okay? I got it right?
He was trying to seduce me at the time.
I was. And gorgeous Georges. I know his mommy called him Georgie. I know all these things. So, Jeanty, man, thanks a lot. Appreciate you having me over, man. It's been a minute since we talked.
I still appreciate those toys.
Yeah, that's right. We did. We sent them some toys. We looked over some Mandalorian stuff and Godzilla. Godzilla. So I got to do it again because you're a fantastic interview.
Please.
The last time we talked, I was asking you what you were getting into, and you were like mouthing Space Findu, which wound up being Mace Windu. So let's start there. Like, how did that go for you? I mean, I know it was 4 issues, and talk to me about how you feel like that went for you. Where are we at now?
I would love to say too that man, it's such a great thing that the stars aligned and everything went right for me.
Not so much.
I finished the Mandalorian, the season 2 of the Mandalorian. They're like, well, we'd love for you to do Ahsoka, but we don't have it ready yet. We do have Mace Windu ready, and it's only 4 issues. So if you're interested, would you like to do that? And I'm like, yeah. If I'm going to be sitting around for 4 months doing nothing, I don't mind doing.
Well,
something.
what's been the crowd response to Mace Windu?
Obviously, it's a fan favorite character. He's had some series done before, but not too much has been done.
Yeah.
And in this particular story, it's about 20 years before Episode 1, so we see a more younger Mace. He's still a Jedi, and he's a Jedi Knight, but it's a more younger Mace Windu, I guess, more towards the Sam Jackson that we all kind of know.
Is that when you're drawing him? Are you focusing on young Sam Jackson?
Well, you can't think of Mace and not.
But are you drawing him like young Sam Jackson? That's the question.
Black people, they don't age.
That's right. So he looks the same.
You can't tell how old we are. So I use whatever picture is relevant of Sam Jackson because you don't know how old he is.
All right, that's good. The black don't crack. You heard it here first. So yes, the answer is yes. You're looking for a Sam Jackson appeal in that. So Sam Jackson fans should absolutely love the books.
Yes.
Has that reception come from them in that way? Like they come to you and they say, "Oh, it looks just like Mace Windu"?
Yeah, no, I mean, I live in a bubble because most artists, unfortunately, we don't live the glamorous life. Here, you might think it's so, but essentially, we're in a one-room. You've done video from there. It's a little one-room, and we don't hear anything. So living in that bubble, I don't normally hear anything unless I'm doing like you and going online and seeing what's what. And the reviews have been pretty good, so I assume it's well received. It's a character that people like. It's a character people want to see more of, and it fits in the lexicon of what the Star Wars universe is.
All right. Well, there you go. And if I didn't mention it at the beginning, he's Eisner Award winner. So, yeah, if you guys don't know what that is, you should check out the Eisner Awards there, though. He's also had a massive stint on Buffy the Vampire Slayer and a host of other things that you can find his work in. But he's got Kabbalah Lounge, which is your own production stuff, right?
It's Kabbalah Lounge. Kabbalah
is a religion. Don't say that.
Madonna will tell you a little bit
I
about
have
that.
screwed up that several times. I can get George Jeanty all day long, but I'm saying Kabbalah Lounge. It's Kabbalah Lounge. Screwing that up. now that I've screwed that up.
I like that.
Kabbalah Lounge.
It's my religion as well.
All right, it is your religion. That's where I was going with this anyway, bro. So, question for me is, in the Kabbalah Lounge universe, is there something that you're bringing to bear outside of Marvel, Image, DC that you want everybody to know about?
That I'd like to do, create your own. Yeah,
absolutely, create our own.
I've got a few properties that and it's funny. Before COVID hit, I was sitting around. You know how you get to the point you've been around long enough, you're like, am I going to do something, or am I just going to keep perpetuating? And I was like, yes, I'm going to do this. COVID hit, and everybody was home with more time on their hands. Yeah. And that's when they called to say, hey, would you like to do some
We'd
Star
like to
Wars?
make you busy now.
We'd like to make you busy. And of course, you don't say no to Star Wars.
No, you don't say no to Star Wars. You got to go in. Yeah.
I said, all right, they're offering me the Mandalorian. Maybe my stuff can be on the back burner for a little while. That was 2019.
Okay.
Now we're in 2024.
So it looks like at least you're staying busy enough to not have to worry about making your own property. That's good.
But there is that pang. I'm still sitting around like, can I do both? Can I maybe take 6 months off and then do 6 months?
Do you have
Star
to take?
Wars?
So do you find like if you're fully invested in one book that you can't commit yourself to doing the other?
I'm personally focused, yeah. So when I'm doing something, I get tunnel vision because
Yeah.
I have so much reference of these things and how I'm doing it and approaching it
Yeah.
that it's hard for me to go, all right, today I'm doing this.
Yeah.
And all the reference I have for that, as opposed to the other day where all the reference I had for that, it's very hard for me personally to get in that mindset.
All right, so to break away from Star Wars to go do
Yeah. To
Project
anything, yeah,
X,
anything,
Project
right,
X.
Yeah.
All right, but before I jump into my next question, you don't want to tell us what Project X is, do you?
I mean, no, they're just creator-owned stuff. There's, there's like a futuristic detective that I'm doing.
Give me the meat, man. I want the meat.
He lives in Miami.
Okay.
Futuristic detective.
So he's a Puerto Rican. No, man,
Well, yeah,
he might be.
He's some race. I don't know
He's
what
some
race he
race.
probably would be, but yes, he's. But you know, they're all tan in Miami.
That's
anyway,
right.
So you couldn't tell anyway.
Okay. All right, fair enough. So he's a futuristic detective. Is he like a?
Yeah,
is he human? Is he cyborg?
Well,
What is this?
the beauty of that is a lot of Miami, if you go down there, Miami Beach, is historically preserved. So I thought, wouldn't it be interesting that the way this place looks now is pretty much going to be the same way it's going to look 40, 50 years in the future.
Yeah, that's a
Even
good
with
point.
all the futuristic cars and whatever,
Yeah.
the landscape will more or less look the same.
The
And
same.
I thought, well, that's an interesting premise to put for a hypothetical story. So.
Well, and I guess it makes the backgrounds easy for you to do.
I love Art Deco, and that's where I would
That's where you want to place it?
And yeah, I just have all that love for it because I grew up around there. And I thought, this is something I'd love to do, but I was a huge Blade Runner fan too, and I thought, what if I did that concept, but did it not in Los Angeles,
In
but
Miami.
brought it down to Miami Beach.
So your Blade Runner is on a jet ski. So, okay, fair enough.
Exactly.
And there's beautiful women all the way around him because it's Miami Beach.
Because
It would-
it's Miami Beach.
Yeah, well, they wouldn't hurt if you drew all those things up.
You know?
About the sculpt, right? Did I tell you about that? All right, so we right now we've got a game show going where we're bringing independent comic books to the forefront through the use of digital sculpture. So basically we have a contest going on, it's international, and you take the 2D drawings and you're creating a three-dimensional sculpt, then we're sending it off to our partners for printing in 3D, and then we're having it judged. And every one of those episodes, each comic is an episode, is a $1,000 winner.
Wow.
Yeah, so they win $1,000, and at the end of the year, we have a grand prize, which is a $10,000 winner.
Okay.
Okay.
Not bad.
So we just finished Chuck Brown. You know Chuck?
By reputation.
Okay. So Chuck Brown did Flawed. That was his book. That was our first episode. Was
Cool.
Flawed.
Okay.
So we just did that, and that's over. And we're in the middle of the Tomb of Balberith, which is Mark McKenna's property.
Okay.
All right. And so at one point or another, we're gonna get George Jeanty's work.
Yeah,
If we can
I'd
get
love
him to
to, man.
break away
Sure.
to do his own property about the Miami Blade Runner detective on a jet ski.
Funny, I've got all these concepts too, all done. It's just-
But you don't have them
the
ready
meat
to
of the
roll
work
out
just
just
isn't
yet?
there, yeah.
Okay, all right. So real quick, man, I mean, there's a lot of questions I have, but the status of the industry today, I mean, it's obviously not 90s where the comic books were just flying off the damn shelf. What's your opinion about the status of the comic book industry today?
Well, I think there's a definite shift, obviously, in the production of comics.
Yeah.
And the idea that people don't necessarily want paper as much anymore. They still want the books, per se. But the digital medium, I think, hasn't really become entrenched in this business, but it's definitely worming its way in.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're still in a state of transition, to be honest. A lot of these variant covers,
Mm-hmm.
those seems to be very popular right now.
But does that help or hurt the level of
I
variant
look at
covers?
variant covers the way I looked at those back in the 90s, those chromium covers
Uh-huh,
and all of that
uh-huh.
stuff. It seems like people are buying it for the
Gimmicky.
rather than for the content.
Yeah, absolutely.
And really the only difference now is that, oh, here, you can get one with a different cover
Yeah.
and keep it. And already they're sealing it up and going, but wait a minute, there's 30 or 20 pages inside
Yeah, you haven't even looked at
of
yet,
blood,
bro.
sweat, and tears.
Yeah. So you're just looking at that variant cover and stealing it up. And I'm a bastard. I have contributed to this. Like Spawn Batman came out and there was like, I don't know, 30 covers of it. I didn't even really enjoy the book that much, if I'm being honest with
you
you.
had to get
But I bought
all
all of the
30.
covers. I was like, damn it. Have I contributed to the downfall of the comic
Well,
industry?
that's just it. It's popular because
It's
yeah,
popular
people are buying into
because
it.
idiots like me want every stupid cover.
We are drinking the Kool-Aid.
We drank the Kool-Aid. I'm not drinking it. We drank it already. It's been fully drank. So for me, it's sort of problematic. But that leads into another question on the industry. Today, there's people who consider themselves artists through AI. All right. Have you been presented with this yet at all?
Man, I've got
AI
a friend,
artists.
I've got a friend who, and I hate to say it, he did a children's book.
Okay.
And it is amazing. It looks great. The production is great. The art is great and all that. And I was like, I never thought you could draw like this. He was like, I didn't. This is all AI stuff. Man.
Did it break your heart just then?
I hate to say it, it didn't break my heart. It made me understand what the future is going to look like. Because I think very much in the same way AI is taking over art, it very much took over music as well. And when you go on your Instagrams or whatever, all those little side beats and music that's all AI created. Nobody sat in a studio and strummed it. This is just somebody clicked on and said, I want that. Sadly, that's the way of artwork, I think. You're going to have somebody who's like, I have an ad for cereal, and I want to do this. Don't want to pay somebody a whole lot of money, but I'll pay somebody to do a couple of clicks on a keyboard to show me something in the image of Pixar or something like that.
Okay.
And boom, right there, which I understand from a pragmatic point of view, I get it. From an artist point of view, yes, I am saddened by it, but I'm saddened in the way that a musician is saddened by all the music you can hear now.
Well, I think, and you make a good point, because from a musical standpoint, you can still use those as input rhythms, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to stop with what was generated for you.
You can use it.
You can use that.
With.
So I just asked Jim about that, Jim Shooter, and his answer was it's a tool, and in the right hands, the right artist can utilize that tool to enhance the overall storytelling. But it was his point of view that you could not have just AI art. So it's not like you could just, all right, and this person did this and it punched out whatever it came out with, and that's the end.
Right.
It would still need to be touched on, because the reflective personality of the person drawing or writing the script on it isn't embedded in there. It's all clicks,
it's
man.
It's scary. There are subtle variances.
There is.
Man, if you say write me a script in the vein of Stephen King.
Yeah.
It's scary how close.
How it'll get you
AI
there.
Will get you there.
It will get you there. It is on a scary kind of level. That is really scary. It's scary in a way that I like it, because I don't want to.
Well,
like
because it's still developing too. It hasn't reached its zenith yet.
Well, I just feel like it takes away from like the people with the skill sets. You know what I mean? Like what is it? 25, 30 years? How many years have you been in the industry?
Yeah.
So all right, so it's around 30 years of being in the industry doing this shit.
You see these lines?
And all of a sudden, some damn computer comes up and it matches, Georgie's work. So it's like, what the fuck, man? I just spent 30 years doing all this.
Man, that's evolution, unfortunately.
You seem to be taking it quite well.
I always like to say, I love to use this analogy. I'm sure the last company that made stagecoaches were the best company in the world.
Yeah.
But when the automobile started,
goodbye stagecoach.
That's just evolution. There was nothing against stagecoaches. I'm sure they were great, but that technology no longer exists.
So you need to embrace the technology, is what you're saying.
You have to embrace it. I think people will always have a want for artwork and original artwork.
Yeah.
Sure. Just like you have a want for music. You go still to concerts and you see people
absolutely
sing and all that.
Yeah.
I think there'll still be that. It'll just weed out the people who aren't as talented.
Yeah.
I think once the dust settles, the guys who are really good will still be there, and the guys who are just kind of playing around with it will kind of go the way of the butterfly.
Okay. All right, so we said you're Dominican and Haitian?
Dominican and Haitian.
Dominican and Haitian. Has that ever been in
Born
the
in
industry? Born in New York,
Brooklyn.
which is another, these are all minuses against him. Has any of those things, point of fact, has race ever been an issue for you in this industry to break into, to be part of it?
My generation, has race ever not been an issue? I mean, now.
Well, that's real talk.
It's pretty cool. The last 10, 15 years.
It's gotten much better.
Good, but growing up, man, I mean, you had people who just didn't like you for the color of your. I know it seems cliche now, but for the color of your skin, they just didn't like you, and that you had to deal with that.
And was that a further impediment to you to break into this industry, though?
Well, the beauty of this industry of comic books is at the time, nobody knew what the creators looked like.
That's
I
right.
I understood that George Perez was Spanish.
Right, because you got Perez. Right.
I didn't know what he looked like.
Right.
He could have been, some French guy.
Right,
who just
right,
married
yeah.
into his
You have no idea whether
and
he was.
That was the beauty of this business. And once we all started putting a face to a name and all of that, I think it became more about the individual, but it used to always just be about the work. You look at John Byrne going, oh God, I love this guy's work. You never thought I
What,
really got to meet
what,
this
yeah,
guy.
what does this guy look like? Where, you know.
You never thought that.
No, that's a really good point. So it obviously was. You skirted that. You skirted it. Was it for you? I mean, did you find an
as
actual
an individual? Yes,
yeah.
but not breaking into this business. I will say after the fact, I did run into a few projects where they're like, we want to do this project, it's very ethnocentric. We hope to have the writer black, the artist black, the inker black, as many ethnic people as we can, just to say
We have
ethnicity.
them? Okay.
Yes. So there, I'm always kind of like, well...
Is that comic book busing? Is that what that is? We're bussing you in for the comic?
I think it is, because I'm sitting here going, look, if you want to get the best person for the job, it might not be me.
Right.
You might want to get me for my color, but if... Travis Charez is saying, hey, I would love to do this project. I'm sitting there going, dude.
Bring him in. Yeah, bring him in. Bring him in.
So I think to the detriment of certain projects, that's not good. But if you're saying, hey, this is a black hero run by black people or Hispanic run by Latinos.
Just to get the point of view, you're saying, though. It's a POV option thing.
But you don't need to be limited to your race in order to get that point of view.
Ooh.
Which I love to say, Steven Spielberg directed the first Color Purple.
That's right.
And that is a African-American film if there ever was a film.
That's right.
The genius of Steven Spielberg's
yeah.
vision. To me, everyone was saying, oh, you should have had a black director. I'm like, that black director would not have done certain things that Steven did in that movie that brought you to tears.
Right.
So I'm always the best man for the job, not the color of the skin.
Wow. I'm not sure if you can get it better than that. There it is.
Like anybody who writes for Star Trek, how are you going to find somebody, well, I need an astronaut who's been out into space in order to get the authenticity of this story.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Actually,
that?
you say Star Trek, that was co-produced by Lucille Ball.
Yeah, by her production company.
Yeah, so she had shit all to do with space at that point. Yeah. It was more a comedy relationship thing for her.
Exactly.
That's a pretty interesting thing. So 25, 30 years in this business, how many Comic-Cons do you feel like you've gone to?
Ooh, I haven't broken down the numbers, but if you did, you figure maybe 10 shows a year for the last 30 years.
Holy shit.
Coming into, wow.
So that's an immediate lead into the next question. So why the fuck are you still doing Comic-Cons? why are you here? I mean, everybody who's going to know those doors already. So why are you here?
And I'll give you an answer that you won't like.
Well, no, I want the straight answer. It's either money, it's marketing, or you just love the praise heaped upon you by people like me.
I'm still a fan. I love this. To me is an excuse to walk around
and meet the other guys.
At some point, to meet the other guys, get the comics or the back issues I've been missing, hang out with my best friend and walk around and say, hey, what book do you have? What do you got? What are you doing? I still love that. I know people have become curmudgeons. You want to know something what floors me every time.
Tell me.
I've been in this for 30 years. I meet professionals who could give a shit about comics.
Really?
I'm like, so what are you reading now? And they're like, I don't read comics. Like, why are you doing this? Why are you in? I feel
that's why I'm asking the question.
Yeah, why are you in this business if you don't love the medium?
Yeah.
So
it's a love for the medium.
Love for the medium.
It's a love for the medium, not so much the fans. Do the fans suck?
I love the fan. Well, because I'm a fan.
Right. Okay.
People come up, oh, you're so easy to talk to. I'm going, honestly, that's not true. You're just talking to another fan.
Yeah. Well, actually, you are easy to talk to. Yeah.
Just because you're talking to another fan?
Oh, because I'm talking to another fan. I'm pretty easy to talk to. Okay. So in that time frame, have you ever had to give up something like super important to be at one of these events?
Every now and again. Wow. It's funny you say that. I was already at a show in London, and my uncle died. And everybody knew he was going, and that it couldn't have been around that weekend that I would have been away. And I had a conversation with him, and oh man, it broke my heart. He was like, look, I understand you do this, and believe me, I don't want you to see me like this anyway. Remember me like you did, not like I see now. So I was like,
yeah, that's...
So, and of course he died while I was away, so that was really hurtful.
And you stayed through the Comic-Con event?
I did. I mean, there was nothing I could do to get a flight back and go back to Florida is where he was.
You had to put on a brave face and deal with all the nonsense.
Yeah.
In between.
So that's the only time that something happened that I actually did still do a show, but I had to. There were other times where I've canceled shows because I hadn't gone yet, but that always sticks in my craw for some reason.
I asked the question because I really want the viewers to understand that there's a couple of things that happen with artists here when I ask that question. One of them is this is financially driven because you still need to make money, and it's not coming in as steadily as it normally
in theory,
is.
though, because this is not a guarantee.
Right.
I don't come here saying I know I'm
going to make X, Y, and money. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. But the other thing is to make sure that people understand that you guys do give shit up to be here. You know, there's a lot of times you got to put on a brave face when there are things happening in your world that you could give a shit less about the comic book behind you.
Yeah, I could be with family and friends this weekend.
Right, you could be doing a whole hell of a lot of other things. So it's nice for them to understand that, you know, yeah, you're here's a job, but there's a lot of times that you're missing out on stuff that, you know.
Yeah, I mean, hell, this Sunday I could be with my dad if he was.
I'm going to be. I'm only going to be here today because
Yeah.
I need to be pampered tomorrow.
Yeah, so,
I need my pampering. You know what I'm saying?
I don't have a father anymore, so this is not as relevant.
Oh.
But you know, yeah, you give up that choice to
You
say, hey, I
absolutely
could
do.
be here or I could be here.
Yeah, that is a tough one. So, a couple more questions for you.
Sure.
You got the 30 years in. I want you to see within 5 years. Yeah, because it's important to note that. Not that he's old, because he is. But that's not the question. The question is about longevity, right? If you wanted
The
to
hair
be in
still
this
looks
industry, it probably looks better than mine.
you
I got
it
this
working.
dip in the back,
You
right?
got it working.
Well, I'm curling it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you can't see. There's a spot in the back. I've got it. But
We'll do the interview like this.
yeah, don't do it. Don't do it like this because they'll catch that. You know what I'm saying? If you could give me the Jeanty top 5 for longevity, boil it down to 3, boil it down to
Being in
1.
this business?
Yeah, to stay in the business, because a lot of people I've talked to, they've come and they've went, or they just don't have the gumption to stay in with all the shit that happens in the meantime. So you tell me, like, what's the top 5
Well, I'll
for
tell
you?
you, there's an old saying about being in this business. There are 3 things you need to have in order to be in this business. You need to be good, you need to be consistent, and you need to be nice.
Okay.
Now, it is theorized that you can
Take out any-
lack one of these things, but you can't take out 2 of these things. Because if you do, this is what
This is
you
what
are.
you get. Okay.
And that has always been the case. You can be really nice and really good, and you'll probably get work. You can be really good but not consistent, but
Nice.
be nice and still get work. But there's that. You cannot have 2 of those strikes against you and still be in this business.
Okay, so fast has nothing to do with it.
So, I mean, fast will get you jobs, but I don't think it'll get you a lot of respect.
Okay.
Because just because you're fast doesn't make you good.
So Jeanty says, be nice. Okay.
Well, I mean, you are what you are. You know, dip into the Kool-Aid. It's just going to make you more of what you are.
Okay. Fair enough. If this is the last interview you gave, it said, "Fuck it, I'm hanging up my pencil. I'm not gonna do it. I broke my fingers."
Do you know something I don't?
No. But you know, God forbid anything ever happened to you, and I had the last interview. What would you want people to know about Jeanty?
So I got to watch it on that car ride.
Yeah,
back
just be.
home.
I can see you driving like this now.
That
You know, like
motherfucker, I swear to
he
God,
jinxed the shit out of me.
He's kept me awake the whole damn day now.
Yeah, you're gonna drive really safe on the way back. But that all things being equal, and it's not gonna happen, he's safe. All right, everybody.
No, I like my car, so it won't happen.
He's got airbags all around him. He's good to go. But if you had to leave everybody, and this is the last interview they watched, what would you want them to know about Jeanty?
About me?
About you.
Well, I mean, it sounds cheesy, but you know that he was a nice guy. He cared. He wasn't just talking to me to get money. He was actually interested.
I have paid him nothing for this interview, and well, that's not true. He's got this nifty Tony the Toy Rat shirt.
And that hopefully that I gave something to this business that for so many years as an adolescent has given so much to me. And that in history, hopefully, you know, somebody might go, God, remember that guy, Georges Jeanty? Yeah, he was alive maybe 100 years ago. That book he did, though, it's still around and it's still
So it's
being
a legacy thing for you.
I think
obviously.
because I feel that way, you know, with Jack Kirby or any of the guys who aren't
Absolutely.
with us anymore, Neil Adams. You're like, this stuff will live forever.
Wow. Well, I almost want to end it on that, but I'm gonna give you one more quick. Is your lob here? What do we work? What is it? Everyone, we said it earlier, but what is everybody? What they should be looking forward to you doing right now?
Yes, coming out in July is the Ahsoka series from Star Wars Marvel. And it's an 8-issue series coming out and starts in July, and I'm doing every other issue. It's just the new Star Wars hotness that's coming
And
out.
is this mirroring the show also?
And it's mirroring the Disney Plus show, yes.
Okay. Everybody, Jeanty, which is how you say it when you see him. Just mess with his head when you come over and say hi.
But Georges is totally cool as well.
Yeah, but you're screwing it up. So just want everybody to know that because I got it right. All right. That being said, George, thank you very much, man. I really appreciate everybody. What Instagram at Kaba Lounge. Not Kabbalah, but Kaba Lounge. And you can find them on Instagram. Where else can you find you?
All the social media.
All the social medias. Find the Kaba Lounge guy. He's very likely to say hi to you if you said something.
You're as much of a rat as everybody says you are. So.
I am indeed. That's it. Tony Torre. We're out. My man, appreciate you so much for that. That was great. That was great. See? That was awesome. It was good for me anyway.
To talk to somebody, it's easier.
Yeah.